Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Thanking everybody for rocking with us tonight. We appreciate everybody who has been with us throughout the entire show. Of course, we've got a great show in that last segment. We had the Dating Pool Diva. She gave us the Diva Diaries. Of course, we thank her for that. As we progress throughout the show, we're thanking for those folks who are rocking with us on TuneIn, those folks who rocked with us on Legacy Internet Radio, as well as those folks who have been listening to us on the replays on YouTube, as well as on iTunes. Again, you rock with us, we roll with y'all. As we progress through the rest of the show, I'm going to turn it over to my sister Shayna Latia. Of course, we got a lot to get into. I know that we've got an interview that we're going to get to here on the air with our brother Ahura momentarily, and so we appreciate that. Of course, we got Lucia. He's back in the room, and what we doing, folks? We got Lucia, we got Shayna. What we got?
Hi, world. I'm gonna get.
You just tell them, tell them to call in. We'll hey, look, it's live radio. They're going to hear us producing as we go through the show. It's all good. It's all love. It's all family here. So just text him and tell him to call us when he's able, and then we can rock with him when he calls in. And for now, we can just kind of rock. We talked a little bit about, a whole bunch of relationship stuff in the last segment. We can talk about that. We can see if we can get someone to call in and get a live reading prior to Ahura calling in, 804-402-2893. That's the number to dial. So, that's what we do, man.
All right. I'm going to move forward into Ahura calls so we can do that great interview. He is a metaphysicist, and he owns a metaphysical school where he teaches people about psychic development, spirituality. He also was, he worked in Hollywood on a bunch of up-and-coming things, and he has a movie coming out, so I'm just going to wait for him to call. But before he calls, we're going to start with Lucia. So we're going to, never mind, Horace calling. So. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Ahura? I can't hear him, Marcus.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you? Thank you so much for calling in and being my special guest tonight. Ahura, I want you to tell everybody who you are and exactly what you do.
All right. My name is Ahura Z. Diliiza. I am owner and headmaster of Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics here in Maine. I teach psychic development. I teach psychic self-defense. I also teach paranormal investigation. And I do healing work and readings and spiritual counselings. I also run an independent film organization called Unicovia Pictures and an independent record label called Unicorn One Records. And I own a bakery, Daily Bread Bakery. In other words, I teach people how to follow their goals. If you make a promise to yourself, it's very important that you keep it, and I show you the steps to do that. And I've been teaching now for a long time. I'm also what you call a telepath. Now, that's a little different from an empath. It's different in the way that I have chosen to kind of unhook the mechanism that would overwhelm me with feelings. However, I don't depend on a person's energy to do what I do. I get straight information. It's kind of like being a computer that gets to see all of this stuff. And my job is to translate what the universe is sending so that people can understand it simply. That's just to say a little bit. Other than that, I'm extremely long-winded, so you have to excuse me.
No, I really wanted to hear about all of the things that you do. And my second question was, what is a Metatron? That's so crazy that you answered it already, but not really, because you're a
Well, a Metatron is a voice, okay? A Metatron translates. When the universe sends a signal or they send something that a person needs to hear, what a Metatron does is delivers it to them in the way that they can hear it. And likewise, the Metatron also has to be able to communicate very, very clearly to the universe for the person. It's kind of like being the phone. So when you're speaking to me, you're kind of speaking to the universe. Now, that doesn't mean that I am the only one that does that, nor am I the only way. What that basically means is that I have been given the equipment to communicate with the universe on your behalf as well.
Oh,
so that's kind of what a Metatron is. And I choose to say a Metatron in training because that particular title is really heavy. And it's a lot better for me to understand and know that I'm fallible. And since I'm fallible, I'm not expected to be perfect. So I say in training.
One other question that I have for you was, when you were asked to, can you hear me? Okay. So when
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So when you were asked to do the TV show, can you talk to me a little bit about that and why you did not take it?
Oh, the television show, yeah.
Yes.
I had been flown down by Asylum Entertainment, and they were they flew me and my daughter down to be the next big paranormal sensation, and we were interviewed by Spike TV, actually. And they had the whole Spike panel there. And as a matter of fact, most people think that Spike was run by a guy because it's a guy channel. It was actually run by a woman. It was the funniest thing ever. She was
really?
Awesome. Yeah, it's run by a woman. And she's totally awesome. You ever see those movies where the boss laughs about something and the boss's minions laugh at the same time? And then when the boss stops laughing, they quit? That happened. I could not believe it. It was awesome. And they wanted to do a movie about me as an exorcist and how I can remove negative energy, and have had to do several exorcisms and land cleansing and so forth. And they wanted to do a whole series about that. And we were down with that. They flew us down, put us in a nice hotel. We met some movie stars and so forth and so forth. And they asked me to tell what I did, so I did. And they gave me this wonderful ovation, and it was all a go. And we were about to sign the contract about a week later or so, and they faxed us the contract. And I looked on the contract, and up in the corner, they were going to call the show The Blaxorcist.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and I said, wait, stop, hold up a second. What is that?
Let me ask you a question, Ahura. Did the people know that you are a exorcist in real life?
Yes,
Did they know that?
I'm an actual exorcist.
Right. Yeah, he actually does this work. So they knew that, and they were still going to name that.
Yeah, they knew that. And I even asked them, I said, did you guys not speak to me? Did you not realize who you were speaking to? This is what I do for my profession.
Right.
This is my life. This is not my hobby. I didn't learn it by watching a movie. This is a gift that I have, and I use it to help people. And I have students all over the world. So when they showed me that, and I called them back and said, this is ridiculous. First off, what does my skin color have to do with my profession? And second off, why don't you call other exorcists white-cists?
Right.
I mean, if you're going to say something like that, that would help. That would make me lose credibility with any of my students.
So,
and there was no way
did
I
you
was
feel
going
like
to take
they were
that.
being racist, or maybe not racist, but
well, I think it's more. If you say racist, that's a really strong thing to have to say. It's more like stupid. Okay, it was just dumb, and everyone I've told that thought that it was the stupidest thing ever to even call something that. But I told them no. If we're going to do that, then I will have control of what it's called.
Oh, absolutely.
So they mailed us a new contract, and they said, okay, we're sorry, that won't happen again. But they worded it in such a way that if I signed the contract and it hadn't been named yet, that would give them control of naming the contract later, and they just didn't think that I was smart enough to know that. However, they seem to have forgotten that they spoke to a very highly educated person. So wow. I looked in the header field, and it still said unnamed Blaxorcist show. Uh-huh. And I called them back at that moment. I felt really funny. The whole time I felt as if I was on this mountain. And I said, Jesus must have felt this way. When they were offering me all of this stuff, and they said, we'll give you all of this if you just let us call you the Black Exorcist. And I just said, no. I called them and I told them I can't do this in good conscience. Thank you. No.
That's funny, Ahura. Exactly how many years have you been teaching?
Let's see. I've been teaching since 1986, 87.
Oh,
somewhere
wow.
around. Unofficially, then officially from 1990.
It's when you started your school in 1990.
No. I actually started my school in 2003 is when I started my school. When I finally got a building for my school was in 2006. Okay, but I've been teaching up until that point.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Hey, Ahura, it's Lucia. How are you today?
Hey, how you doing, Lucia?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. So I have
by the way, I want to say something. How you doing there, Marcus?
What's up, Ahura? How you doing, brother?
I heard you got jumped a little bit with the women about saying a woman's age.
Yeah,
but I kind of agree with you. Everything needs to be transparent.
I mean, that's, they get in their feelings. That was kind of on them. That was good. 42.
That's going to be two of y'all that needs to be jumped.
Hey, look, man. Does Ahura or Marcus J seem bothered or affected?
And do Sharon look like she can?
No, not at all.
Obviously not.
Not at all.
You still on the other side of the table.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I look at it this way.
froggy
Age is
jump.
nothing but a number. It's just a number.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand why they get in their feelings about it anyway. So,
So Ahura, I have a question for you. Okay.
Sure.
So when did you discover? It's a two-part question. When did you discover that you had certain gifts or abilities that set you on a certain course in your life? And the second part question is, when you found a teacher or when you found a mentor that kind of helped you, did they kind of refine that for you or help you to discover that more, or what did that look like for you personally?
Okay, I'll answer the first part first. I've always been this way. And as far as I knew, when I was just a small child, I thought everyone was this way. I found out very quickly that they're not. So at that point, I had to learn to pick and choose who I said things to, because I was punished a great deal because of what I saw. I was very badly abused as a child, and you hear stories all the time. My stories were very real. They were very painful, and they were very humiliating. I honestly believe my parents tried to kill me. I just did not die. And they sent me to stay with a very mean Christian grandmother. And so I've always been this way. Now, as I grew up and I finally decided to strike out on my own, and I met my teacher when I was about 20. And she helped me to refine myself. First off, she showed me how to not be so angry at my life growing up, because that was a key component there. I mean, I was very talented, very gifted, very special, and very intelligent, undisciplined being. And that made it so I couldn't even keep a job for 2 weeks because of my rage. So she showed me how not to be angry. And even if I was angry, she had one simple rule. When you get a job, if I'm going to teach you, you have to get a job and you have to keep a job. That meant when you went to work, you kept your mouth shut. It didn't matter what they wanted you to do. You did it, shut your mouth, get your paycheck, and leave. Okay? So I had to learn that before I got anything, and that took me about a year. And finally, I managed to hold on to a job, and that was part of the teaching right there, was to contain myself and discipline myself, because up until then I was using my talent to find out if I could get a date from someone to see what they were thinking.
My brother.
Yes, Ahura. I do it all the time.
My brother.
That's funny. That's funny.
I mean, I did a lot of things, so when I met my teacher and she began to teach me, It was very much like watching the Karate Kid, you know. It was like she would make me do things like sweep and wash dishes and help out with certain things. I said, and when am I going to get, you know, my telepathic training, you know, so that I can do this right, you know, because I saw in her what I wanted to be, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it was just a very, very powerful thing to me. And I stayed under her tutelage for 6 years. 6 years, almost every single day. That was my choice because I felt if I couldn't do this, then I had no reason to be here. You know, so you might say I was kind of fighting for my life. So when I hear people talking about how painful it was and, you know, there's so much pain and they're rocking back and forth trying to control themselves, I don't have much sympathy for that because I had to work hard. I worked diligently. I worked hard. There wasn't so much pain. The only pain I ever received in my life was being utterly humiliated by the people that were supposed to be taking care of me, you know, and being beaten daily because I had something that they did not, you know. So as far as training, as far as doing the things that I needed to do, listen, I saw ghosts every single day. I saw spirits every single day. When people spoke to me, I could hear what they were really saying. When they looked at me a certain way, I knew what they were thinking. When they were looking at someone else, I knew what they were thinking. So you might say that all of those things that you hear in the movies, they don't even come close to what it is that I went through on a daily basis. And this woman reached out to help me and show me how I could control myself, control my reactions, when to keep my mouth shut, when to speak, and know what I was saying what I mean, and meaning what I say.
It's great.
I have read the dictionary 4 times.
Oh, Lord.
You know, just so that I could discover what to say, you know, how to say it, what it was that I was saying, and how to describe it.
It's great that you started talking about a movie because I know that you have your series coming out called Falcon Air, and I want you to give me a small synopsis without giving away, you know, the plot and everything. But can you give me a synopsis on it because I'm looking forward to seeing it in the independent film industry.
Sure.
I love independent films. I go to see them all the time. So
certainly, yeah. Well, Falcon Air is about 4 women that are taken at the moment of their death by fate and given the choice to either meet their fate or be transformed into the legendary Valkyrie. And I take these 4 women from 4 different time periods, and they're brought together, and they have to save the world. You know, and in the movie, they get trained by different gods and goddesses to fight. And one of them, the star, gets burned. She was supposed to be burned at the stake because she wouldn't marry this guy, you know, and she was accused of being a witch. And because she was accused of being a witch, she got put on the stake, but then I had to save her because I get to play the part of Thor. And I had to save her, and I get to yell at these people because they're saying, you know, in the name of Jesus. And I say, no, I know Jesus, and he would never approve of this kind of behavior. So it kind of has this whole spiritual connotation to it, and it's looking to be a good series. It's working out very well. It's taken a while to finish, to get ourselves to the point where I'm editing everything, but it's looking good. And it will be an ongoing series, so I'll have other things open to other people. I like to give everyone the opportunity to be in a film if I can. And my films are very evenly distributed. In other words, I don't do the black person that's the sacrificial person that dies at the beginning of the movie because there's nobody else to kill. I don't do the exoticizing women and feeding them to, you know, the white guy who's bigger and taller than everybody else. You know, we don't do anything like that. You know, I don't make anyone into a caricature unless it suits a comedic value thing. In other words, I like to have intelligent roles. My roles, I like putting women in prominent places. In other words, usually, even if I'm in the film and I could be the hero, the star of the show is usually a woman. And that's just my own personal thing. You might say I have a goddess complex, but I think that in film particularly, women have been played really, really badly. I mean, just very, very badly. And I'm looking to kind of put them in the place that I always look for. You know, when I look in a woman's eyes, I'm always looking for my goddess, and I find her every single time. So everyone else should be able to see that in film. So that's just the shortest synopsis that I can get. As I told you, I'm long-winded.
Very cool, very cool. Yes, we're very much so looking forward to seeing your film and your series as it comes out. And do you have a projected date or time when that might be surfacing or coming out?
It will be surfacing this year. I can't tell you which month because it was supposed to be out in March, but things happened, so I had to revamp a few things. So when you're working, I do I did the writing, the directing, and the editing, and also have to work the camera part-time. So that's a lot to do. But I figure if I'm going to do it, and I want it done the way that I need it to be done, I might as well be the one that does it. Besides, I'm a telepath. I can't help it. I always have to have something to do. It's not like as a telepath I sit around and think. I do things constantly. That's how I keep myself grounded. This is why I do so many things, not just a little bit of something. I have to do something I have to do a lot of every single thing. Otherwise, my energy just kind of rolls in on itself.
Ahura, I got a question for you, Marcus.
Certainly.
The tattoo is prominent. Tell me about that, because when I saw, you don't see it often, and I would guess that that's a question that you may get relatively regularly. I do actually. Yeah, it's kind of funny. People don't really ask a lot, but when they do, I get the opportunity to speak about it. Well, yeah.
As you know, I'm Polynesian.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Maori. And I'm also Apache, Black, and Irish. Okay. So my father's Maori.
Well, let me before you continue, because one of the things that we deal with in this country, as I'm sure you know, is labeling. And when we label folks, we label them oftentimes by how they look. And so when someone meets you, what do they think? But before you tell me about the tattoo, when they meet you, what do they think you are? Before you tell them what you are, what do they think you are?
Well, most of the time they come up to me and say, "You're Samoan like Rikishi, right?"
Not Rikishi.
I say no. But no.
Hey, I love Rikishi, though. I love Rikishi.
Yeah, but I get called Samoan all the time. That Samoan guy over there. And I say, no, it's Maori. We're cousins. Okay, we are cousins.
Okay.
And there's Samoan, Maori, Fijian, Tongan, Hawaiian. We're all cousins, but I'm Maori. So this tattoo is called Tamoko, which is this speaks of my heritage, my ancestry, whether or not I'm married, whether what type of being I am. It just kind of tells my story. And in mine, it talks about the people that are closest to me, what type of warrior I am, and what type of being that I am. So all of this is right here on my face. You hear people say that they wear their feelings on their sleeve. Well, I wear mine on my face. This is who I am. I have to make my statement. I made my statement as to who I am and what I am. And when people look at me, the first thing they go is, "Oh my God, it just must be a hoodlum that's coming." And I open my mouth and I speak to them, and they go, "Oh."
Well, I think most people,
wow.
The only other person that we can speak of that I could tell you is Mike Tyson. So
yeah, and I get that a lot too. And I say, no, Mike Tyson's is not. Although he did have his done in New Zealand, I say no. This is not like Mike Tyson. This is real.
Okay.
Because I do get that a lot as well. So. And besides, Mike Tyson's Mike is only on the side of his face.
Could you tell my listeners, what kind of martial arts you also teach, other than the metaphysical stuff?
Oh yeah, I teach Aikido, Tai Chi, Taekwondo, and Kendo.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That's
you are an
dope.
Amazing being.
I took Aikido when I was like 10. And my daughter is first degree black belt in Taekwondo. So
awesome.
that's pretty cool to hear you say that.
That's awesome.
That's good. I recommend for all young women to learn how to fight. You have to learn how to fight in this day and age.
But Aikido was no fun, though.
Unkind time.
Aikido was no fun, Ahura, because they don't teach you how to fight. They just teach you how to not get beat up. You know, it's all defense, and it was no fun. That's why I stopped doing it.
Yeah. Well, no. Aikido teaches you how to not be there.
Yeah, how to not get beat up.
Yeah, it's the art of not being there. In other words, where the person is applying their energy, you merely turn it and use it against them. So you're not really even using your energy. You're using their energy against them. So if they attack you, that's at their own peril.
Right.
The best way to block the punch is just not be there for the punch to hit you. So you're moving out of the way and redirecting the energy. It's actually a dance. So I would recommend Aikido to any young lady, especially when you're meeting up with some brute, that thinks that they can overpower you. You just let them understand the only person that they're going to overpower is themselves.
Ahura, that's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all that information with us and with the listeners.
No problem.
Awesome. Yeah, much love, much respect, as you already know. But for those that can see that you have established yourself within your development and becoming who you are today, what would you share, just kind of as a last question on my end, what would you share with listeners as to what they can do to really prepare for the coming times and for this age that we're in now?
The best thing that you can do is develop yourself. Now, I know that people are waking up. You cannot be in this day and age and not see something, not feel something, not hear something, not know something. You have to actually be open enough so that you can know. And then once you do see something, find a way to develop it. Don't wait around for someone else in your group to decide that it's a good time for you to learn. You learn all that you possibly can learn. We're heading fast towards a time where your consciousness is really going to matter. It doesn't really matter all of this stuff about elections and so forth and people finding ways to divide each other. You got to find a way to evolve. It's your evolution that is going to matter. So, 1, check yourself daily. Ask yourself 3 questions. Who are you, where are you, and what are you doing? It's really simple. 1, who are you? I am a spiritual being. 2, where are you? I live in a spiritual world. 3, what am I doing? I am growing and evolving daily. And you find something that will lead you on that path. I heard something a little earlier about lowering a person's expectations. No one should ever lower their standards no matter what. You will get what you want as well as what you need. Okay, you just have to make your wants and your needs match. Okay, so all of us want something, but what we want changes daily. If you're going to go out and you're going to find someone, you can meet that perfect person. Listen, my wife and I have been married now for almost 17 years. I found that person. You understand? So, 1, never let your guard down. Protect your energy. You all have wonderful energy. You just have to be willing to protect it. And the best way for you to protect it is to look within constantly. Find a way to look within yourself. That still quiet voice that people talk about, that is your first thought. The moment you get your thought, you follow that thought. And you follow it to the end. It doesn't matter whether or not you wind up alone, so long as you wind up right. That's what matters. 2, once you do learn something, try not to hit other people over the head with what you know. Simple. Do what you do, be who you are, say what you mean what you say, walk straight ahead. Not left, not right, walk straight ahead. And then if others want to follow you, fine.
Thank you so much. That's powerful, powerful advice and wisdom. Timeless.
Ahura, to close us out, could you tell everybody how to find you and if they want to take how to take classes? A little bit. Can you close us out with your metaphysical school and
Sure.
and what you do on Tuesdays? Your show, your live show on Tuesdays.
Well, thank you. Certainly, I can be reached at Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics. That is www.unicorn-cove.com. or you can give us a call at area code 207-347-5686. And someone, if they don't answer the phone, please leave a message, okay? And I also do a weekly show called Ask the Unicorn, where you can get all of your questions answered pertaining to the metaphysical, the spiritual, the paranormal, and the mystical. And that is every Tuesday night, and you can catch us on Facebook, or you can look on YouTube, and you can check out Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics and Ask the Unicorn on Facebook. And I do teach classes. I teach for free. I know that there are a lot of people that do. However, this is my profession. This is what I do.
Sweet.
And you can ask about class, and someone will help you. Okay. Other than that, if any of you ever want to be in a film, I'm your guy. I'll pick you.
Ahura, thank you so much for allowing me to interview you, and thank you for the energy that you have brought and the information that you have brought to everyone who's listening. I'm pretty sure a lot of people is probably going to hit up Marcus about you. I'm very grateful for you, and thank you. And I'm very
grateful for you.
I Skype him. I go watch his show every Tuesday. This man knows what he is talking about. Believe me.
I had good teachers.
You are
I
my
had good
teacher.
teachers. And you know, Shana, I have to say this. You know, you're a very wonderful soul. You too, Alicia. And I really like your show. You guys' show. Marcus, you're doing a great job.
Thank you, Ahura. That means a lot, brother. We've dialogued, not much, but a little bit since we've come into acquaintances with each other. But I do consider you a brother, and I hope you feel the same. And
I do.
You dropped a lot of good stuff on us tonight, good wisdom, and I'm hoping that the listeners of Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J, as well as the Legacy Internet Radio listeners who are listening to us live, as well as on Facebook Live, on YouTube and iTunes, take a listen to this brother. Take a listen to the information that he dropped on us. Check him out on social media and all the great things that he's doing, because when you have a spirit and a soul like this man, this is something that we all need to share with one another. And so I thank you, brother. I appreciate you, and I look forward to the time when we get to come across each other once again.
Wonderful. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And,
you're
always welcome on my show.
You got it, brother. You know what? I might take you up on that. So
we got to come visit his baby.
so you might have to check your inbox. So that when you put it out there, I hope that wasn't just salutation. I hope that's some real stuff. And
I say what I mean and mean what I say.
And I know you do, brother. And I look forward to it, man. Thank you for checking in with us tonight, man. And we're going to talk to you soon, okay?
Problem. All right. Thank you.
You got it, brother. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J, live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to get into some more. I want my brother Lucia to tease. Don't give him too much, but just tease him a little bit. But what we're going to do in the next segment, brother?
Well, a little bit on what Ahura was saying as far as development. I'm just going to give you all some tools to develop yourselves a little bit further and tap into your innate gifts.
Tap into your innate gifts. I'm intrigued, and I hope you are as well. Marcus J and a whole cast of characters and a big crew, and I love these people, and I look forward to you loving them as well on the other side. Marcus J and the crew, Ain't No Half Steppin' with yours truly. Be back in a few.